gang, welcome back to the studio for the first installment of the My Scrappy Gift Monthly Challenge. That is a mouthful. So it's November right now. It's nice and fall here at the studio. And so we're working towards our December gift because it is November. And after all, we're going to give you time to make it. And I was thinking of all the different holidays we could celebrate in December. Not really. I thought it would be fun to make our gifty, our scrappy gift this month for Christmas. I'd like to use my 3-inch Petal Pal template, and if you own this template or you've seen this template, it also comes with this cute little 1-inch center circle. They come together as a set in the package. So the first thing that I've done is I've taken my handy dandy basket of challenge scraps, and all I've done really is dig through this basket and I've pulled out everything that's red and green. Let's take a look at some of the fabrics that I've pulled so far. So here are some of the reds that I've pulled so far, and I've only taken a few of the reds out. You can see they're just kind of wrinkled and some of them are small, and this guy's got, you know, a little end to it. So these are definitely scraps. They're definitely leftovers. And some of them are brighter than others and some darker than others, but that's a good starting point. And this is our stack of greens. Now these, like I said, are just the greens that are in that basket. So let's take a look at them when we put them out and see what we think. So right off the bat, this guy has got to go. Now what we're doing right now is we're auditioning fabric. I have no idea if I'm going to continue to use these pieces or not, but I'm just going to lay them out. Let's move this a little bit so you can see it better. I'm really loving this shade, these shades together over here. This is a great green for those, but not so much over here. So let's set this guy over here for a minute because again, we're just auditioning at this point and I don't know which direction I'm thinking of going in. I do know that this guy looks better over here with these reds, and these reds are all great together. This one is really sort of on the verge or on the cusp, and because it's got some like paisleys and leaves in it and stuff, we may not think of putting it in with the brights, but I'm okay with those tones together, so I'm going to leave those together. And I'm going to pull these guys out because these guys are all, this one's a little too dark for that pile, so these guys all look a little better together over here. So let's just kind of start our division a little bit so that we can see which direction we're going in. Now you may be thinking, gosh, that one really doesn't work. It may or it may not, but here's the one thing that I do in my scrap quilting that's a little bit different. I like to use a variety of the same tones when I'm working together. So these all don't necessarily go exactly together, but they're working in with the same tone that I kind of like. They're very common in their tone. So this is a grouping for me, and I like that there's a lot going on here because it makes it more interesting. So here's a couple of really fun things. One, this looks more interesting than just one color. The other thing that happens is, you know, we struggle a lot daily with being able to find fabric. Like I have a piece here and I want to put something together and I've run out of this color. I never run out of a color because I use lots of different tones in the color. So if I'm missing a piece or I need an extra couple squares, I can cut it out of anything. So that's a good rule of thumb in your quilting, not only just in your scrap quilting, but in your quilting in general. So now if I lay this piece down, here's what is interesting to me, and you guys may have a totally different opinion about that. I like actually the way this is getting more of a teal feel, and I like the way that it works with both sets. If I just bring this over here and we just leave that out a minute, I like the way this flows, and this may not look particularly Christmassy to you, but I'm really loving it. And then anytime I put teal with red, I really love it. But here's what I'm thinking. When I put this over here, this kind of reads Christmas to me. This over here just kind of reads bright. So I'm going to leave this in the middle and see what else I have in my grouping. These I don't like with anything in this group right now. They're reading just a little bit too teal. These are reading a little too solid and too teal to me. I got another bright coming. That's about the same color as this one over here. It's got a pretty large print on it. Don't like it over here. Definitely like it over here. So I'm going to leave that one. This one is too flowery. That doesn't read Christmas to me. Nor does this, nor does peppers. So we're gonna get rid of that. And all I'm doing really is just kind of taking you through my process when I'm working in scrap quilting. So this one's very geometric and it has a little too much teal and orange in it for this project. So out it goes. That's too teal, that's too mint. This one's too white for me. This one, well, that's interesting. This one's very dusty. So it doesn't really go with those greens, but I like it over here. This looks pretty good. There's another bright green. I like what this green does to the reds for Christmas. Can you see how I'm getting kind of a palette of greens and a palette of reds? And I've got a bunch of these squares left over from some, oh, there's a bunch of different ones on here. So now I'm getting a colorway of green over here, and these are fitting together nicely, but this one's kind of iffy for me. And that may stay and it may go. Maybe I could do two different projects. Maybe in this grouping, I could do one of these for a mug rug and one of these for a quilt hanger. Now I have this whole range of dark. This one's just not looking dark enough anymore. So I think I'll just pull that one out. So I've gone through my greens in my bin, and this is what I've come up with, right? So this one's really nice. Now, why did I put this one over here and not over here? This one's a little bit too dark for the rest of these fabrics, and it's a little lighter than all of these, which is nice. It gives nice depth, and it helps to blend this one in a little bit. So I like these. So I like these greens together. I like these reds together. That makes a nice project. And now you can start to see how I use multiple fabrics in my project in a colorway to make a project. So this is a little bit smaller fabrics, smaller pieces, but that doesn't mean I can't make a great project out of it. Here we go. So these are nice and bright and bold greens, and there's quite a bit here that I can work with. And I like these reds together. This is my brighter grouping from my scraps, and these guys are gonna live to fight another day. So hopefully you learned from this little bit about how we go about making the colorway. So now we have our bright colorway, and we have our darker colorway, and now we get to go play with the different projects that we're gonna come up with, and we can get down and dirty and see what comes out.